Hey, what is up guys, and welcome to a brand new episode in my build series. Today we're going to be checking out the Renault Clio RS200. So if you don't know what this car is, it's a very tiny hatchback, a little hot hatch. This thing has a 200 horsepower from like a 1.4 or 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. It has a big turbo on it. As you, if I quickly shut up, you can probably hear it. Yeah, you can definitely hear the turbo. This thing is by default not bad. This thing has 200 horsepower and it weighs... well, I'm not sure how much it weighs. Now I have to check. Let's see. It weighs 2,600 pounds. It has 200 horsepower, 177 foot-pounds of torque, and a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. This thing is 4-wheel drive. Has a flappy pedal gearbox. Too bad it's not a manual. But yeah, what I'm gonna quickly do is lap this around around here. I think I found myself a nice little race around this festival site, which we can do, or race a little round to test its capabilities. Some high speed, some nice cornering. Always what I found to be the downside with front-wheel drive cars is that they understeer a bit too much. So when you put a lot of power in it, whilst going into a corner, it just slides straight forward. But oh well, that's just the thing that front-wheel drive cars do. Now I am a very big fan of this bright yellow color which it has right now, so we may actually leave it that way. And for the rest, it looks pretty badass. Not a huge fan of Renaults, but this is pretty cool. So are the slightly older RS models. They look pretty awesome as well. So yeah, we're gonna try to build this up, make it perform just a bit better. This is by default a C class, almost at B class. We're gonna maybe make it an A class or something and participate in a nice race against other hot hatches if we can. So yeah, as you can see, this thing handles... oh, wrong button. This thing handles alright. I mean, it's not the quickest, but hey, what do you expect? It's just a little hot hatch. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head towards the festival. We're gonna upgrade the crap out of this thing and see yeah, what we can change. Probably gonna leave the engine stock, but yeah, we'll see. I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, we've just jumped into the festival, so let's head straight into the upgrades menu, see what we can change about this. So as always, we're going to start with what kind of swaps can we do. So apparently we can do a engine swap, which makes it to a 1.6 liter inline 4 turbo rally, which by default we just have a 4-cylinder 1.6, but I'm going to leave it stock. This thing adds 100 horsepower, so it makes it quite a substantial amount more powerful, but we're going to see how this default little engine can go. See, we can make it rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I'm gonna leave it the way it was supposed to be, so we're gonna leave it front-wheel drive. Let's see, we can add a little bit of front aero on there, which looks... I mean, it looks alright. I'm not gonna do it though. And we can add a wing, which always looks ridiculous in these kind of car. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty retarded. Alright, so we're gonna up tires. Let's shove them straight into race tires, or you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna first change the grip on this. Let's see, it is front wheel drive, so we do want to widen the front tires. We're gonna do the same for the rears. Now I do like the styles of these rims, but we're gonna see if we can replace them with anything that might look even better on them. So let's quickly scroll through these. As always, I'm a huge sucker for the HRE wheels. They always look so good. Let's see how these Momos look actually pretty good as well. It's a tough decision. I think we're gonna go with these. I think the inches is fine, but we are gonna lower this thing down because this thing is way too high currently. So we're gonna up the drivetrain, put like a quick transmission in there. Okay, up the brakes. Those fill up the tires nicely. Yeah, lower it down. That makes such a difference. This thing is really high by default. We're gonna make it all go all the way down. We're gonna add some anti-roll bars, make it even lighter. So we'll be at 2,200 pounds, which is pretty good actually. And now we come to the fun part. So I'm first gonna up the exhausts, do the turbos, which usually adds quite a big difference. Let's see, do the camshafts, 315 horsepower. Now we do have to keep in mind we don't want to make this thing too quick, since it is still a very light front wheel drive car, and if you make him have too much horsepower, you're gonna have a bad time. So yeah, we're already changing a bit of horsepower. We're currently almost at 400. I think that might be the magical number here. So we've done all of that. Do we want to change that as well? Yeah, sure. What I'm gonna do is quickly head out of here, see what kind of tires, if we can change anything about these tires, because we do want to have some grippier tires on that. Now comes my issue. Okay, how good is the grip on this thing? I guess we can go with these and maybe lower the power down. No, I think we're gonna go with some. Sure, we're gonna go with some street tires. Make it just that tiny bit better. I don't wanna down the power. So let's see if we can maybe fill this up to make it to that magical A number. Okay, there's not anything we can change there because I already did that. Okay, that is almost just about perfect. We already did all of this, so I think we've got our nice little setup here. So let's quickly see what we changed. So we added 250 horsepower, took a 400 pounds of weight, and yeah, upped the class from C to A. So I think that's going to make a very big difference in this. Okay, so let's quickly head out of here. I'm going to jump into the paint shop, see what we can change about the way this thing looks currently. So let's see, designs and paint. I like the way the stock color is. Let's see what kind of other colors it came with from the factory. We do have a nice little red here, but I think I'm gonna go with the orange yellow. That's just the way I like mine to look. Gonna make the wheels black as they were by default. So I think we got a nice little setup here. So what I'm gonna do is quickly head out of the festival, jump outside, and try to give that little lap I just did another go. So yeah, let's see. Alright, we're just outside of the festival now. Like, there it is. And yeah, let's see how she performs. Let's listen to it first, see if it sounds better. Oh, most definitely it does. Looks a lot more badass now that it's actually a lot lower on the ground. So let's see how she performs. See if we can launch it without spilling all of the wheels. Okay, take it easy. There's like hardly any throttle at all. And you can still hear the tires having a very, very hard time at this. You can definitely feel this thing is much quicker now. Brakes, yeah, we upped the brakes as well. This is what I dislike about front wheel drive cars. Okay, we may have to down the power just a bit and maybe up the tire compound. Oh crap! See how hard of a time it has getting the grip of things. Like, all right, it picks up speed in the straight. Let's see if we can change anything about the gearing. Maybe make that gearing a slight bit shorter, since we do have a bit of gears to play with here. I think that's gonna be fine. Alright, I can dig this. As you can see, this thing picks up speed so much more quicker than it did before. Yep, that's actually really quick for a Renault. We're almost doing 300 kilometers an hour. Brakes work really well. Don't like the dials in the interior, to be honest. Like, what the hell, Renault? They're too big of a, like, the round thingies on the side of them. Grip, car, grip. Yeah, it's having some trouble there. But once you go past a certain gear, it's actually not that bad. Lotus Evora there. Or Elise, I think. We're gonna make it. Oh, a left here. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly head back into the festival and down the power a bit, up the tires, and yeah, we're gonna do finalize a little race we can do. Alright guys, I found a race we can do. It's a hot hatch race. Apparently it's during the evening. The things I changed to the Clio are, let's see, I downed the power just a bit, just like 50 or 60 horsepower or so. Up the tires to race tires, which gives this thing a lot more grip. And let's see, what else did I change? That was basically it, which makes it so that the car handles a lot better than it did before. So as you'll see, like, it's still able to lose its front tires pretty easily. This thing goes through corners much better than it did before. No, don't try to cut me off here. As you can see, this thing doesn't squeal around that much anymore. It still likes to kind of lose its tires once you go off the line or something, but it's actually a lot better than it was before. Now, I do like this race. This is actually pretty good. I like the scenery, nice little sunset here. As you can see, this thing handles so much better than it did before. I was about to say I'm able to drive this pretty easily as I go off course. As you see, this thing is such a delight to drive. Actually, one of the more fun front-wheel drive cars I've driven, I think. Oh, look at the sunset. This game's beautiful. Like, I like the way the color of the car blends into the rest of the surroundings. It's hard to talk and drive at the same time. Yeah, this thing is pretty nice. Like, we're already in first place. We're 50% of the way there. So I got this thing out of a wheel spin. I never really looked at it until I was like, hey, I want to make a new video. Which car should I do it on? And I saw this thing and I was like, sure, let's try it. Maybe it's good, I'm not sure, but this thing is actually pretty freaking fun to drive. If you're looking for a nice little hot hatch you want to do a race in, this thing's actually pretty good. Probably the Megane RS is just that tiny bit more better than this one is. But this thing is, how do you call it? Like humble, I think, or nimble, I don't know. This thing is good. It handles around corners pretty nicely. It's quick enough. Like the way I did it now, it's 350 horsepower or so. And this is just the right amount of power in my opinion. It shouldn't be less, shouldn't be more. If you do more, you will constantly spin and understeer through every freaking corner, which we do not want, of course. This is a nice addition. I like this. This thing's from 2013, so maybe we'll get a refresh in like a little while. I don't know how often Renault changes their cars, but we're already crossing the line here. That was a very good race for the little RS200. I like that. And that Ford was kind of glitchy. I like the Mini in the background as well. Maybe for a future episode we can try out the Mini. Maybe we will get a wheel spin here, I'm not sure. Of course we will. So hopefully this will have a... maybe I'll be lucky today, but I don't think I will. Okay, this spin you could win a Ferrari FF. Let's see what I can win. 50,000 credits. That's alright. I don't mind that. Like, I've had worse, as you can clearly see from my previous videos. This is a nice car. I like it. See, it still has some trouble gripping up once you get out of the line. It's actually pretty good. Let's do from standstill a little. If you go full power, it does that, but if you try to manage it, let's keep it at like 4K or so. This thing's pretty good. So anyways guys, yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. If you have any cars I should try next, any suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below. Suggestions are always welcome. Yeah, and if you want to see more of my Forza Horizon 3 content, be sure to subscribe to my channel for soon to be newly released content. So yeah, until next time guys, have a good one, and I'll talk to you in the next video.